Hi, welcome in. This is Assembling the Sandwich Generation, where I am building the blog while living the reality. In this audio vlog, I'd like to chat about the making of the Sandwich Generation blog post entitled, There Are Only Two Certainties in Life, followed by an audio reading of said post. When I wrote this post, it was the most personal I had written to date. Coming off the last post, The Guilt-Free Social Life, which explored guilt parents feel when leaving their children, I felt ready to dive even deeper, ready to explore the circumstances surrounding the death of my father. My dad died at 60, which of course was far too soon. There was a lot I would have liked to talk to him about, and it wasn't all pleasant. There would have been some tough conversations, but conversations I wish we would have had. Have your conversations, friends. With that in mind, I'd like to read The Sandwich Generation post entitled, There Are Only Two Certainties in Life. There are only two certainties in life. Benjamin Franklin once said, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain, except death and taxes." He was not the first person to make this observation, although he is given credit for popularizing the phrase. While the topics themselves have never been popular, death and taxes are topics to which we can all relate. As I'm curled up on my cozy family room couch on a sunny weekend morning sipping my coffee, I'm thinking about the impetus of this blog. In a nutshell, I'm writing because it's therapeutic. As many of you are aware, the sandwich generation endures a lot of stress. I'm finding it therapeutic not only to write, but to share my thoughts with an audience that can relate to said stress. I've received a lot of warm feedback via recent conversations with friends and colleagues. Not only do I appreciate the feedback, but I also find it restorative. Thank you for your support. Now let's dive into the deep end. Certainty 1. I don't need to tell you that it's tax season. Taxes can be a stressor for members of the sandwich generation, especially if you find yourself doing 3 or 4 sets of tax preparations. As our kids came home, Heidi completed their taxes with them. Heidi and I finally sat down and got ours done. I'm increasingly disappointed in our dwindling deductions. As our spring powered forward, Heidi and I did not get the chance to help my mom with her taxes. We had to file an extension for her, which simultaneously gave me relief and makes me feel like we dropped the ball. My mom needs an extra set of eyes and ears on her taxes now, as she does when she attends her doctor's appointments. As I become increasingly involved in my mom's finances, does anyone have any sound advice? Advice from any experts that have already been down this road are highly appreciated. Please comment below. If there's a good way to transition from certainty 1 to certainty 2, I certainly didn't find it. May I present an abrupt shift between death and taxes. Certainty 2. My parents moved into a beautiful townhouse the same year that Julia was born. Although it was sad to see my childhood house leave our family's hands, I was happy that my parents were entering a new maintenance-reduced era. The lawn care and snow removal would now be out of their hands. There was a small pond across the street that my dad could fish in when he got home from work. It was a satisfying yet short-lived time for them. Less than 5 years into the townhouse era, my dad had a massive brainstem stroke. It happened on a Saturday spring morning. We were planning on meeting my parents and in-laws for Mother's Day brunch the next day. We didn't make it to the restaurant. I don't think we celebrated Mother's Day at all. It was a blur. My mom called that morning to tell me my dad was taken by ambulance to a local hospital. There wasn't a lot of information. Heidi initially stayed home with the kids, and I rushed to the hospital to meet my mom in the emergency room. When I arrived, the emergency doctor told me that they believed it was a stroke. They believed it was serious, and that he should be transferred to the best stroke center in Chicago. To quote the doctor, "If this were my father, this is where I'd send him." The plan quickly fell into place. I had never fainted before in my life. I can't really describe it fully because I honestly don't remember much. The most shocking news in my 32 years on Earth at that point hit me like a speeding locomotive. Someone found me a chair and some water, maybe juice, until I collected myself. Likewise, I had never slept in a hospital lobby before. Now transferred to downtown Chicago and my mom at my dad's side, I wandered into the hospital lobby exhausted from the trauma of the day. The lobby was as bright at 2:30 in the morning as it was as 2:30 in the afternoon. No blanket, no pillow. The vulnerability of sleeping in my clothes on full public display matched the vulnerability of the situation. We lost my dad 3 days later. He never regained consciousness after his stroke. If there can be something to be thankful for, he passed naturally before my mom and I had to make decisions on his status. It bothers me that I never got to say goodbye. He was not talented at sharing his feelings, resorting to bottling his emotions until they exploded as anger. I wonder if he would have mellowed in his senior years. I wonder whether his capacity for introspection would have increased. I saw grandkids soften him, but he only had the joy of being a grandparent for 5 years. I feel he was cheated by time. My dad's passing was a first real test as a member of the sandwich generation. In the weeks and months after his death, I was more concerned with the welfare of my mom and my kids than I was my own. I'm aware that I didn't properly process my own anger and grief. I need to process this more, friends. Perhaps this topic needs a sequel. Thank you so much for listening to my audio vlog, There Are Only Two Certainties in Life. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. New audio vlogs will be posted here regularly. If you have any stories about parents or loss, or any other sandwich generation moments, please share them in the comments below. I'd like to invite you to visit my blog, The Sandwich Generation. Please find the link in the description. I post new material there first, so please check it out. Thanks for joining me on Assembling the Sandwich Generation, where I'm serving up stories from the middle slice. Until next time.